As for that chick in the airport getting stupid naked, she was on the PCP Gorilla Piss. Dare I say, it's called Sherm, baby. She was on that cocaine in her brain. Boy, I'm telling you. And you know the saddest part about that is that there's probably still some thirsty-ass, simp-ass guy out there who's probably looking at her and referring to that as a queen. Like,
so far your arguments are insane. That you sound like some dude on
cocaine.
Jokes aside, honestly, this is very sad, and I hope that she has some time to reflect and make reforms in her life. Also, who cares whether some guy thinks she's a queen or not? Why would MGTOW care about what simps think? But seriously though, why are you getting off topic? I thought this was a video about shaming. Good morrow, ladies and gents. It is I, the Crimson Crusader, your favorite anti-MGTOW YouTuber who MGTOWs love to hate. Once again, I'll be criticizing and making fun of Sherm's arguments, attitudes, and actions in his video called Shaming MGTOW. Watch this video that exposes the lies that Sherm is spewing. As usual, I'll be responding to clips and paraphrasing his arguments to cut down video time. If you haven't seen part 1 or 2 of this little mini-series, then I highly recommend watching those videos first. Finally, welcome to part 3 in our adventures in Sherm's MGTOW land, where we follow the rabbit hole that reveals how truly insane Sherm's arguments are. After going off topic, Sherm talks about how females destroy their own happiness to make men miserable. Wow, just wow. See folks, just more evidence how counterproductive MGTOW is to society. Pointing fingers and demonizing a gender doesn't really help anyone, and especially when you lack the evidence to back up such a claim. Why would anyone want to destroy their own happiness just to make a man miserable? If someone wronged you or you're mental or manipulative, then I could see why someone would want to do that. But seriously though, what normal person on this planet would not want to be happy? It goes against human desire for pleasure. Your average woman is not going to be like, oh, a man just walked across the street. I'm going to make his life miserable at my own expense. Anyways, I'd like to see you prove this point. If I'm missing something, you better explain what you mean. Sherm also says he doesn't like women asking to get married because marriage makes things worse, because marriage means you have less friends, you live in a basement or the corner of your house, and you have less sex. Let's address these stupid and over-exaggerated reasons why he thinks marriage sucks. First, the reason why you have less friends is because you have less time to spend with them, because you are entering a new chapter in your life. Now, you are more focused on growing your relationship with your spouse or raising a family if you are getting married. This extra responsibility means less time going out partying, playing video games, or whatever people are into. Family is far more important than friends, but again, people still hang out with their friends, but they may lose some of them because they just don't have enough time to deal with their responsibilities and hanging out with all their friends. Second, if men are living in a basement or the corner of their house, they should seek some help because that is not a normal marriage. The average woman isn't going to pull this shit unless one of them is an awful human being in the relationship or someone is doing something questionable in the relationship. How do you know a marriage is going to end up like this anyways? I thought MGTOW had actual facts. Finally, the reason why some people have less sex is they have more responsibility, thus taking more time and energy out of them. This extra responsibility can cause more stress and tiredness, which leaves less time and energy for sex. This is especially common in a family where the focus is on the kids. Less sex isn't necessarily a bad thing. But the stereotype that men get less sex in marriage is bullshit anyways, and I'm going to prove that very soon. Now let's talk about the benefits to marriage. Men are more likely to make 10 to 24% more money if they are married. Also, even after raising kids, married men have 3 times the assets of men who do not marry. As for frequency of sex, married men have more sex than single men. Furthermore, married men have the best quality of sex because according to the National Health and Life Social Survey, 51% of married men have extremely satisfying sex compared to 36% of single men. Also, married men live 10 years longer than bachelors. Furthermore, 43% of married men ages 20 to 39 report being very happy compared to 20% of single men. So in general, married men have better mental and physical health than unmarried men. Link to this article with these stats will be in the description box below. It's clear that marriage is not imprisonment, but in fact beneficial to men. Marriage has been proven to do actual good with facts. But what does MGTOW do to better the lives of unmarried men who have never been in a relationship? Now, I'm not saying you can't be happy and single, but what I am saying is True Sherm's reasons to avoid marriage are at best over-exaggerated. Oh, listen to this. He also says that 75% of husbands live in their garage. Dude, what stuff was that guy on when he came up with that statistic?
Cocaine!
I'm laughing my own way. Fun fact, folks, this statement is bullshit. I know I shouldn't be wasting my time, but I scrolled through the internet for a while, and there is no such statistic. Unless you can cite this source, I'm going to ask you to stop pulling stuff out of your ass and start using actual facts.
Women always keep their options open so they can be the center of attention. Absolutely. That's why every time you go to a bar, guys, go to a fucking bar this weekend and talk to all the chicks and dare pick out one whose ex isn't a piece of fucking shit. I guarantee you, every single girl you talk to, all of her exes are pieces of shit. Why? Because they can't be the fucking supervillain.
Well, if what you're saying is reality, then please show me the evidence that suggests women in general are keeping their options open so they can be the center of attention. If any gender is going to be accused of acting selfish, it would be men, because they are more likely to care about being at the center of attention, because men are statistically more likely to be narcissists than women. I'm not trying to say women are better than men, but I'm just observing reality. Moving on, how does a guy know that a girl has been dating shitty exes at a bar? Funny how women are blamed for choosing shitty exes, but in your video going after me, you blamed women's disloyalty as to why a man most likely ends up getting divorced instead of blaming the man for choosing a bad woman. Second, how can you prove that every girl at a bar has a shitty ex? Have you ever been to every bar? No, you haven't. So stop making outlandish claims, and do try to stick to reality.
They make horrible choices, and then they want to turn around and just blame the man so they could try to up their because anything else, they don't know how to hunt for men. They don't know how to get a man. They don't know how to keep a man. So do you think for 1 second they know how to talk to a man? No, the only thing they know how to do is try to garnish some sort of emotion from you, or try to make you feel guilty, try to make you feel ashamed. But don't let them. Don't fucking fall for that horse shit. I'm telling you, dude. It's bullshit tactics.
What are you, a dating expert now? More assumptions but no facts or stats. You accuse women of blaming their poor choices on men, but apparently you don't attribute any blame to her shitty exes. What if the exes were conning her to use her for sex? I agree, people should take responsibility for their choices, but not everything is their own fault. Also, you undermine your own position as well. If a woman takes blame for dating a shitty guy, then men must always blame themselves for divorce because they decide to marry that woman. I agree. People shouldn't follow horseshit. People shouldn't fall for your horseshit arguments, because there are no statistics or facts that are backing up this stuff. For all I know, you could be making this stuff up. And anyways, there are plenty of women I know that are good people that can keep and talk to a man. Stop generalizing people. Not everyone is always going to act a certain way. Human beings are more complex than animals. Moving on, you claim that when a man is abusing a woman, it is more likely the woman that is abusing him. True Sherm, you continue to disappoint me. Folks, I think we've entered the true light zone. His distorted perception of reality based off bullshit arguments. Abuse is a choice, and those who abuse must be held accountable. The hypocrisy continues, folks. Earlier, True Sherm accuses others of not taking responsibility, but here he is trying to take the blame off male abusers by making them look like the victims. It's obvious there's a lot of toxicity in the MGTOW community that makes you wonder what kind of nonsense is going on. Second, your claim is bullshit anyways, because according to the National Domestic Violence Hotline, in general, 29% of women compared to 10% of men were either raped, stalked, or physically attacked. Also, 24.3% of women and 13.8% of men are victims of severe physical violence in an intimate relationship. So most of the time, it's men abusing the women, not the other way around. And when analyzing the reasons for abuse, the answer is not so simple. Many people abuse because their parents abused them, and in other cases, it's because the abuser used too much alcohol or took too much drugs. It's sick how MGTOW will try to take tragedies and spin it for their own twisted agenda. Unless you got some way of proving your claims, it's pretty obvious you're just playing the blame game. It's her fault! Now, True Sherm says if you keep failing in relationships, then it may be common sense to just leave dating. That's not common sense, that's a quitter's attitude. If you suck at relationships, the smart and logical thing to do is to figure out why you are failing. What's common sense is saying, hey, there's a problem. Maybe I need to fix it. If you're the problem, then try to improve yourself or ask people advice about relationships. If the people you are dating are the problem, learn to make better choices. Or you could try looking for other people in different places. Maybe a bad woman betrayed you in a relationship. In that case, try to learn the signs of a toxic person. In some cases, that may not be possible. I'm not saying that a man is always at fault if he fails at relationships, but to some extent, men must take some responsibility. At the end of the day, there is almost always something you can do. If the Union in the American Civil War gave up because they kept losing battles, black people would continue to be abused and suffer longer. Or, what do you think would happen if Thomas Edison gave up because he kept failing at making the light bulb? I know there are some situations where you should cut your losses, but failing at relationships is mostly not a hopeless situation. That's what MGTOW is trying to do. It's trying to get men to give up on relationships because there seems to be a quitter's mindset. I'm sorry, MGTOW, but you don't know what's going on in the personal lives of men to say you should give up. But True Sherm's arguments just continue to get worse. Not only that, but now True Sherm claims that 33% of men are not raising their own kids, and he talks about how men are being falsely accused. There is no statistic out there to my knowledge that states 33% of men are not raising their own kids. Actually, according to The Guardian, there's a 4% chance that a man might, emphasis on might, not be the biological parent of their child. Still don't believe me? Another article that is even more recent says that in each generation, 1 to 2% of men are unknowingly raising someone else's kid. In Western Europe, that number is even lower, with 0.6 to 0.9% of men unknowingly raising someone else's kid. So this one-third of men thing is obviously bullshit. This problem is irrelevant anyways because we have DNA testing to test for paternity fraud. And also, does your statistic include men who are knowingly raising someone else's kid? Such as guys becoming stepfathers when they marry a single mother? Also, True Sherm, what do you mean by false accusations? Because that's a very broad term. Are we talking about men being falsely accused of rape? The false accusation thing is over-exaggerated because false rape accusations don't happen that... Because false rape accusations doesn't happen that often. Because according to an article, men are more likely to be raped than falsely accused of raping someone, and the chances of a man getting raped are pretty low. But even then, how is MGTOW solving that problem? False accusations are bad, but the main problem is how some people in society handle false accusations. Innocent until proven guilty is what I stand by. MRA and Anti-MGTOW are better options because in those communities, we are trying to fight for change. We first change the individual, then the individual changes his friend circles, and then hopefully the community. Then True Sherm explains how women are not assets, but they are liabilities. Man, True Sherm, you seem to have an awful attitude towards women. Why am I always hearing you bitching about women, but you never seem to have one good thing to say about them? How come you never talk about the ways men have wronged women? Also, this statement seems to be objectifying women because you are limiting people to utilities. Also, this is just an assumption. Where is the evidence? Throughout this whole video, you have proven nothing that would support this kind of claim. Damn it! I was going to expose more of True Sherm's fake news. Shit, looks like I'm going to have to do another video, but at least that video will be short because there's just going to be 4 to 5 more clips I want to respond to. The amount of assumptions, bad logic, and overall insane arguments in this part of his video are just... I don't even know what to say anymore. I think I've lost my mind. This time, folks, I promise you that the next video will be the last part to responding to this MGTOW insanity, and it's going to be very short, as I said before. And anyways, consider subscribing to my YouTube channel and click the notification bell so you can get notified when I upload a new video. You can also follow me on @CrimsonCrusader on Twitter. How much blame should someone take for a failed relationship? Can anyone explain why many MGTOW have a quitter's attitude? What's more insane, True Sherm's argument or cocaine? Oh my gosh. I think I need to get some help, folks. Let me know in the comments below what you think about all this. My fair ladies and honorable gents, fare thee well.